Hi, I'm Steve MacNeil, and today I'll be presenting the work that I've been doing with my colleagues, Zijian, Kexin, Thomas, Yajie, and Stephen. Our work focuses on problem framing, an often overlooked part of the creative design process. Designers rely on creativity support tools to do creative work. They use search engines, news websites, and design probes to discover insights about a problem. They use tools like IdeaMache, IdeaHound, and the Design Space Explorer to curate and synthesize these findings. They also use tools like IdeaGens and ProbLib to help find inspiration and brainstorm new solutions. Finally, they implement these solutions and seek out feedback from stakeholders and colleagues. Creativity and Cognition has contributed a variety of tools that help designers and novices through this process. However, a recent review by Fritsch and others at Parashos University shows that 40% of creativity support tools focus on ideation and implementation, but only 10% support problem identification. And while design is not a linear process, solutions are informed by the problems that designers choose to solve. A problem gives a focal point, a frame of reference for exploring and evaluating solutions. Without a problem, solutions have no intrinsic value. Given the importance of problems in the design process, it's surprising that more creativity support tools don't support this important part of the creative process. In this work, we explore problem framing and how novices develop problem statements. A problem statement is a clear and concise articulation of a problem. And so here's an example of a problem statement that uses the how might we format, a popular pattern for describing problems in design. We started this research with a pilot study of students in a design class. And while most students included a goal, they often omitted other information, like stakeholders or the obstacles that a stakeholder faces when writing these problem statements. Omitting this key design information suggested to us that more scaffolding might help novices do a better job. And so we developed ProbLib to help novice designers write better problem statements. We decomposed the problem framing process into two design activities. First, on the left, identifying components of the problem, such as obstacles, goals, and stakeholders. And then on the right, there's an area to compose these components together using a template. This tool was designed to help students frame problems and externalize their thinking, making the tacit explicit. We conducted a between subjects study with 74 students. Students were randomly assigned to one of two conditions. In the control condition, students used an open text form. In the experiment condition, students used our interface, but otherwise the two interfaces were equivalent. Participants in both conditions received training about how to write a good problem statement. So to evaluate the effects of this intervention, we had two designers qualitatively code the resulting data. One was a design TA and the other was a professional designer. Both coders were blind to condition and not aware of our research questions. Our results show that scaffolding provided in our experiment modestly improved the quality of the problem statements for novices. However, there was no effect for the statement lengths, and there was no difference in the number of statements created. Finally, participants using ProbLib tended to include more design information, as seen in blue. In addition to these main takeaways, we also observed some creative behaviors related to problem framing in the surveys. Participants described a number of ways that the problem components helped them. Participant 42 said, by writing down the components, I'm layering the dots that can be connected together to provide a full picture of the problem to be solved. Participant 11 said, once I was able to identify one component, I could start filling in the blanks for the other components. It helped me to connect my ideas and make them into statements that worked. If something was missing, it was easy for me to come up with that missing component. Participants also talked about how it helped them to explore alternatives. They described it as a really good brainstorming session. It allowed room for creativity. And participant 6 said, it also allowed me to more clearly look at the wide array of individuals and groups who had been affected by a particular action. So in summary, higher quality problem statements were generated by ProbLib compared to the open text form. Decomposition and the templates help novice designers include the right information, but more help appears to be necessary to get that information right. Decomposition helped participants make connections, creatively combine their problem components to form new problem statements. And participants described the activity as a brainstorming session that helped them think more broadly and explore alternatives. And finally, we see that creativity is not limited to ideation, but can also include other parts of the creative process, like problem framing. I'd like to thank my co-authors once again, and I hope this work shows how creativity support tools can focus on problem framing, an important but often overlooked part of the creative process. Thank you.